Hey. Yes. How you guys doing? Happy Friday. Happy October 1st. Yes. We have a great show today. I'm going to let some folks come into the room. Hope you guys are having a great week and hope you'll be having a great weekend. Hey, JT. Hey, Bonafide. I see you. Yes. What's up, family? Come on into the room. Hope you're having a great day. Fall is approaching. You feel that crispness in the air. The skin's a little tighter. Okay. Yes. Hey. I'm so excited for today. Yes. Come on in. Let me put my guest name, hey Kate, into the room so you guys know who I'm speaking to at all times. Mr. Bonafide Rojas. Yes. I'm so happy for this show today. Yes. I mean, I'm happy to still be doing these lives. Okay. Yes. Let me throw up some photos while we wait. Ah, come on. Look at that. Gorgeous. Yes. How you guys feeling? Hope you guys are doing well. And having a great week and change and more. This is my guest today. Let's see what else we got. Yes! Come on, hair. Yes, I love it. Awesome. Let me see, a couple more. Oh, this was, let me turn my music down just a little bit so you guys can hear this. But this was from 2017, welcome. And this was from the 25th anniversary presentation of Deaf Poetry. And I had the honor of presenting this show at Summer Stage in Marcus Garvey Park. And he is joined by all of his fellow esteemed poets there. Right in the yellow, there's my sister girl, Jessica Care Moore. Danny Simmons is on the far right. Asha Bandele next to him. Oh, the late great Mums, a poet. Mums the schemer back there poking out, who we lost this year, sadly. Ursula Rucker, my girl from Philly. Oh my God, Tony Blackman. I mean, just amazing. Yeah, and what an esteemed group of people. That day was incredible. Let me see. One more. Let me choose another one. Let's see. How are you guys? Yes. Oh, this is him holding his book. I know, Mums. So yes, I have I gotta keep it to a tight hour because I've got some things to do tonight. I'm going to Summer Stage right after this to host one of our last two shows, Yola Tango at Summer Stage tonight. And I'm wearing my Libra shirt because my brother that is coming on is my birthday twin. We are both October 8th babies. And yeah, but before I get to that, I mean, listen, I've had such an incredible 2 weeks. I've been going out, going indoors, seeing some incredible productions. And this week, I'm sure you all saw me posting about it. Oh my goodness. Met Opera's Fire Shut Up in My Bones with composed by Terrence Blanchard, making history, the first Black composer to have an opera with, being presented by the Met Opera in its 150 plus 60 year history. Come on, kids. But in any case, but choreographed and co-directed by the Queen Camille A. Brown. And also making history is director Casey Lemons, who wrote the libretto for the opera, and it's based on the memoir by Charles M. Blow. It is devastating. I cried my eyes out. I didn't go in person to the Met, but I did go and watch the live stream at Marcus Garvey Park that the Met partnered with us. We hosted at Summer Stage. And it's just incredible. So if you're in New York and you can go see it, please, Fire Shut Up in My Bones. It is worth the trip. I'm going to try and go see it in-house as soon as I can. They're also doing a one day only, movie screening of the opera on October 23rd in New York at select theaters. So keep your eyes out for that. I'll be posting about that as it gets closer. And one other little quick thing I want to mention, because, I'm all things dance. Fall for Dance is coming up really soon. And on the cover are two beautiful dancers from Ballet X who will be in season there. So if you don't know, Fall for Dance is a program that was started a number of years ago to make dance accessible to everyone for very little money. It started out at $10 a ticket. It's at City Center in Midtown, and you get to see like these top tier companies for $10. And basically they'll have like 3 to 4 companies on one program, and it's just amazing. It's an amazing program. Fall for Dance at City Center. Not sure when it starts, but in any case, look it up. All right, so on to my guest today, Bonafide Rojas. Incredible brother, poet, artist, musician. Bonafide is the author of 4 collections of poetry: Notes on the Return to the Island in 2017, Renovatio, I hope I'm saying that right, Renovatio in 2014, When the City Sleeps 2012, and Pelo Bueno, I think that means good hair, 2004. He's appeared on Def Poetry Jam and has been published in numerous anthologies and journals. He's a band leader and co-songwriter for The Mona Passage, who released their second album, The New Myths, in 2021, this year. So I want to ask him about that. He's performed at Lincoln Center, the Brooklyn Museum, El Museo del Barrio, Philadelphia Museum of Art, Rotterdam Arts Center, Konvent Zero Barcelona, Latinale Berlin, Hafen Lesung Hamburg. I hope I'm saying all this correctly. The Festival de la Palabra. He lives in New York City, loves his son. I've seen beautiful pictures of his son, and only wears red socks. So we need to know about these red socks. Before I bring him on, I want to throw up the photo of his album cover for his new album release. So this album is linked in my bio, as well as the link to his website where he sells his books. And yeah, so please go to my link tree after this and check out all of the work by Bonafide. So let me go find him and bring him in. Yes. So let's see. Bonafide invite. All right. Let's see what happens.
Hey, what's up? The house. Man, you ever notice when you do these lives, you get dressed and they're just showing you your chin? It's like, man, look at this. Come on. What is
Well, you can stand up. Show us your outfit. Let's see what you got on.
I have like trees and shit on my thing, but it's like my phone, like, I'm like, push this back. You're all over my nose. My nose is... What's up?
It's okay. We want to see that beautiful face. How are you?
Hi, bro. I love it. What's going on?
Yes, I have on my Libra shirt, because, hey, listen, so I know at least 8 other people that are born on our day. October 8th. And I don't know what year it is for you, but I will be 53 next week. Okay.
I
you don't have to say if you don't
want to. No. First of all, I have it tattooed on my arm, but the thing is, the joke that everyone goes, like, Bonafide, how old are you? And I'm like, well, I have a 17-year-old son. And they're like, what? I was like, yeah. So, I had my kid at 14. They're like, what? I was like, no, I'm lying. I'm turning 44 this year.
Okay, you're a baby. Come on. What?
And the other 25-year-old, like, he's 40. What? I thought you was like 31. I go, I'll take that every time. Stop flirting with me. Stop it. Stop.
Oh, my God. Yes.
But yeah. So, no, I mean, I'm excited. Man, I grew up with so many Libras and Scorpios. I grew up with, from the 22nd to like the 16th, every other day is a birthday. So I tell people, I go, I'm not getting any of you a present because none of you give me anything. Scorpio.
My mom is a Libra. Her birthday was last week, as a lot of you saw.
Yeah, the birthday.
Yeah, and it was great for her to be here in town so I could celebrate her, even though it was a little bit early, but it was wonderful to surprise her in that way. And just to celebrate for all of us that are, celebrating birthdays, what we've all been through and still going through. But we're here. Yeah.
But I saw the those photos. That first photo with the stars and stuff, that's from 2009.
Really?
Photo that I really always liked.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It was like a selfie. I'm taking a selfie, and I was like, it came out really well. My hair was so.
Be a poster.
Hey, look,
seriously, that's a gorgeous picture. Yeah. And you don't look different, so you can still use it.
Yeah. I tell you, when I started shaving, like I used to have a connecting goatee, And I think in 2011, I was like, hey, look at all this face that comes out of nowhere. It's just, but
So where are you right now?
I'm in New York. I'm in the Bronx.
Okay.
I came out of work and just came here to rest and prep for you. After this, I'm gonna go out, have some go go to my favorite. I'll tag my favorite bar. My
Hmm.
favorite bar is actually up the block from Marcus Garvey Park. It's called Archer and Go. When
Yes.
Go is my my guy Alex is the owner.
Okay.
I go there all the time. I just hang out and chill and have a little
Well,
speak.
if you happen to be there for your birthday, our birthday, I'm planning on having dinner somewhere in Harlem for my birthday next week. I'll let you know what it'll be.
Yeah, but they have really good food, good fusion food, and really good bartenders. I fuck with them all the time. I'm there all the time.
Yeah, no, I love that spot. I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah.
But it's Archer and Go because he's an Aries and she's
Yep.
Sagittarius, something like that, right? Or Capricorn.
Yeah. So when we after the deaf poetry thing, that wasn't open yet. I would have completely dragged.
Mm. That was such a great show. And can you believe that it's already 5 years coming up next year?
Crazy.
So I don't know. Maybe there's another anniversary that we could all do.
Tomorrow we have something in Jamaica Arts Center. Danny is having a show called Homecoming with Ron Carter, the famous Ron Carter, and myself, Ursula Rucker, and Danny D. Cross are performing there. So I think Ursula called me yesterday, but I didn't pick up the phone because I was doing another live. And but I'm excited to see them. I'm always excited to see her. And like I don't go to Queens that much. I'm like, I'm going to I'm like, let's go. But yeah, no, I was showing someone asked me about this live, and I showed them the photo you had of one of the Alvin Ailey. You on the cover of the Alvin Ailey. Like, I think it was like '94, and I was like, no, she used to dance with Alvin Ailey. And the only reason my sister was a dancer when she was younger, so I could known about Alvin Ailey for years. So I was like, I don't know, this Danny. Stop playing Danielle. Excuse me, Danielle.
Yeah, I was Danielle in those days. Now, if anyone calls me Danielle, I'm like, you don't know me. And two, it's probably a bill collector. So,
Exactly. Like, hi, guys.
I did know about your show tomorrow, and I was actually going to ask you about it because I love Leslie Harris, and of course, I love Danny Simmons. And it's actually already tagged, or it's in my link tree on my bio on this page here. So, guys, please go look at the information for tomorrow's show. It's from 8 to 10. I think it's $20. You can still get tickets. It's in Jamaica, Queens. And, yes, a heavy hitter lineup of poets. Ursula Rucker. Come on, Ursula.
I'm just going to fanboy around Ron Carter because
Yes.
it's Ron Carter. But my son actually told me that Ron Carter was either born, but he was raised in Ferndale, Michigan, and started in cello. And that's what my son does.
Really?
Cello player. He's his first year in college. And he Ferndale. So I'm like, well, that's it,
That's awesome.
A jazz.
That's awesome.
Go.
So, I always like to go back and find out, about people's lives and how they got started and all that good stuff, because I just feel like, people's beginnings can be inspirational to, whoever takes the time to watch this or watches it later or is listening. So I know you were born in the Bronx. You're a proud New Yorican. But speaking of New Yorican, really quick before I forget, we also, besides our dear moms this year, we lost Miguel Algodin, who I didn't realize until I saw the New York Times tribute to him that he was close friends with Alvin Ailey.
I mean, just a New York collection, right? The New York connection is real.
It's real. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like he and Alvin would hang out, they would go, late night, shenanigans. But so just that connection, and then here we are, the next generation of that connection, poets and dancers and singers and musicians, and we got to keep that going, those collaborations, and just create exchanging of the creative energies. But yeah, so proud Bronx, South Bronx. Tell us about growing up in the South Bronx.
So I mean, I have such I tell people the only difference about me and almost every other kid that I grew up with is that I got into rock music really early. I was like 13, and that's when I really started listening to like Hendrix and the Beatles. And that's it. Everything else, the hip hop. I was a graffiti writer. I definitely was a high school delinquent. I got arrested way too many times because, you know, that's what kids do in New York. But I tell people I got lucky, right? I got lucky. I was 13 in 1990. And, you know, I experienced New York pre 9/11. And I thought that's a really different time for everything. And I don't know if people really understand that. Like, and, you know, so what I try to do, Chandler, you already know what I'm talking about. I try to do alignments, right? Growing up in New York in the 90s it probably isn't any different than growing up in LA in the 90s, right? Growing up in Boston in the 90s. Like, you know, these cities have been transformed so much in the last 25 years that if you're an old, like, whatever city you're from, an old Chicago head, like, you know, like I've been going back and forth to Chicago since 1997. And of course the spots that I went to then don't exist anymore.
Right.
I lived in Chicago. I lived in Wicker Park before it got completely gentrified. Like, basically when I lived in Chicago, right before my son was born in Chicago, I lived on Milwaukee Avenue, and the Real World House Chicago was around the corner.
No way.
I would see them. I'm like, I don't really want to be on TV. Come on, get out the coffee shop. Mr. Anderson, I see you. Rondell, Brooklyn in the house. And, you know, being raised in New York, you know, I tell people it cut you differently. You learn people faster. You learn how to do a street differently. You go, okay, this doesn't look, I don't like this. But, you know, New York just had venues. I just walked by. I walked by where Tramps used to be at on 20, on 22nd.
Yes, Tramps.
And I told someone, like, I saw Wu-Tang there, Outkast, Booker T and the MGs. You know, I mean, I seen a million hip hop acts. Then I was like, well, this church right here used to be a club called Limelight, and they're like,
okay, on 6th Avenue.
Look, I started club at 15. I was 15. I promoted at a club here in the Bronx, and because of that, I went to every club. My three favorite clubs was Café con Leche, when it was that Kit Kat club on 43rd Street, the Shelter, because it was a great spot, and Club USA, which was on 43rd Street, that had a slide.
I remember that slide.
And it was so early. It was like 93, 94. The one of the few times that I went, but like Skinny Buster was there, Fat Joe was there, and Russell Simmons gave me a compliment on my jacket, and I was like, oh, this is it. But but then I stopped clubbing by the time I was 19, because that's when I started writing poetry. So
so I was definitely going to ask you about that, but so go back for me a little bit. First of all, Club USA, I remember being zooted and sliding down that slide, and I got to the bottom of it and just shot out onto the floor. And I just laid there.
I looked at it like that's a liability suit waiting to happen for somebody.
Those were the days, man. Those days.
And but yeah, so through all this, I started writing poetry because a friend of mine wrote something, and he was supportive of it. And like I'm just like just high school dropout that likes hip hop and likes music, but couldn't afford any instruments. So I wanted to be a painter first. I wanted to be a painter. I did this really interesting like abstract thing, and then I lost a journal sketches, and I was heartbroken. I was like, I'm not doing this. Just got some journals, started writing, and that's how I met Jessica. That's how I met Brad. So did the the Sunday Tea Party and the Brooklyn poetry scene. I actually met before I met most people in New York.
Yeah. Okay.
There was a this is probably late '94, and Ty Allen, Brad were in some reading in Brooklyn, and they go, oh, we're having or was it the other way? No, it was a reading at Old B. Dalton's Barnes and Nobles on 8th Street and 6th Avenue. So I walk in, and I think this is the first time, like second time I'm reading in public, and they go, next up is Bonafide, and I was just like, I was like, oh great, fucking Rojas in general growing up was always Ro Jazz.
Of course.
I was like, oh, this is fantastic, great way to start. But Brad, Jessica, Ty was there. I think it was hosted by Tree, who's he was the host. and they were like, come down to Brooklyn, and yeah, and so I basically had to swap my Sundays out for poetry or café con leche because I used to love going to cafe.
I mean, did we ever cross paths back then? Because
We
I came on the
did,
scene.
but like, if I'm 18, 19, and you're like in your early 20s, first of all, my sister is in your generation, right? She was born in 71.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I knew that there's always a age gap difference. So at 18, I was already out. My hair was ridiculously big, and I'm loud and all that. And I'm doing poetry, and she goes to some bar. I forgot which one it was, and some guy goes up to her and goes, "I know you," and she's like, "Oh." He goes, "You're Bonafide sister, right?" She was like, I'm done. Get out of here. I'm not hanging out here with my little brothers hanging out here."
Right.
So, so I got lucky. I told you I got lucky. I had some really good friends that I grew up with, especially on Broadway when we were in Soho acting like fools.
Mm-hmm.
And, I really wasn't the kind of person that got into, the heavier stuff the way some of us can. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get arrested too much after that.
Yeah.
Poetry changed the directory for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I started playing music a little bit afterwards, but I definitely, I tell people all the time, I don't really get nervous. I don't have anxiety. I have none of these things. But when I start talking about doing music, all these things kind of pop up because I have this weird mechanism that's still implanted to me that I think that I don't know what I'm doing, even though I know what.
Oh, you do. Right.
I blame people when I was little, like you don't know how to sing, and I was just like, okay, I don't know.
Oh, I got that too. Like, I mean, obviously I started dancing more seriously after I turned like 13 or so. But then as I would try to do some singing things, and even after I stopped dancing, there was always this sort of like thing in the back of my head, like, just some growing up being, oh, you can't sing. You don't know how to sing. Just stick with dancing.
No, all the time. Oh my God, I love your poetry. I don't like your band. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Screw those people. They're as bad as you're multi-talented.
I'm going to give a shout out to my boy, Tony Babalu, who was completely in West 4th and in the Village from the early 90s, from Coney Island, my man, Kel 5MH. He has as many stories as I do and probably more. Yeah. And yeah, like, you go to Brooklyn, like, Brooklyn before 9/11 was a completely different borough. You wasn't walking around Fort Greene like everything was cute.
No.
You wasn't walking around like Fulton, like, oh yeah, let's go, blah, blah, blah. No. But I saw, like, and that's the thing. So I saw Brooklyn change, right? From being a black bohemia to like, oh, there's a lot of white people around here now. Right. And then everyone goes to Harlem. Oh, there's who? The white people in Harlem now. What is this? And gentrification is a real infection that's attached to capitalism. And I just all of us artists who have seen it, most of us are documented. I talk about it all the time in my writing, and it's something that I don't think it goes in waves. I love you too, Pa. It goes in waves, right? And I just I don't know. Like I don't know how people or cities or the status quo expects people to create in a sterilized neighborhood.
Right.
Like, because the things that we created out of necessity, be it punk, be it hip hop, be it underground parties, trust me, I'm way too young for Paradise Garage, but all these things were created out of necessities. Yeah. There were no spaces.
Oh my God, right. The Paradise Garage, yeah, that was my era of coming up, going into clubs underage. Oh, it's a live for going to the garage.
Now, when you look at the way New York is designed, we've lost like 1 million performance spaces. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, now we're just going to go create something. And then it becomes like this cycle, right? And, I just like to tell people things. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming out.
Well, I mean, even though I bigged it up, but, it's very disturbing to me. I was talking about earlier, the Met Opera.
Yeah.
We're continually having to create our own tables because too many institutions are still not.
Yeah, first composer in how many years? First black composer in over 100 years?
Right.
They're like, oh, wow, thanks for coming to the
party.
And
I definitely want to celebrate because these are my friends.
Yeah.
I know and love personally, even at New York City Ballet. again, a company that I love, but just last night, they were celebrating a ballet created for the first time by a Black woman.
Is this 2021? What are you talking about? Right? You trying to tell me there's no gatekeeping involved in this?
Yeah.
No, we're involved in this?
Yeah.
You know? It's for the art. No, I grew up with a really intersectional art scene that, look, I was a skinny Puerto Rican kid in Brooklyn. I was easily the only kid from the Bronx. There was always a joke. It was like, hey, I'll see you guys later. I got to go back uptown, but it was completely welcoming. And I'm always trying to figure out how these spaces aren't trying to be more multicultural, right? Because the more people you have, the more ideas you have, which is the more perspective, which makes it more intersectional.
Absolutely.
But now it's just like,
I can't. So tell me, but I definitely go back again for me. Tell me about being attracted to rock music.
So my cousins lived, this is 89. My cousins lived in Florida, right? So when we go there, well, two things. My sister was older, but she was into freestyle. So I was in 7th grade dressing like I was a freestyle dancer with rayon pants. I got pictures somewhere. I just don't show.
Oh my God.
I got pictures somewhere. So a couple of guys in my neighborhood were about 6 years older than me, and they were completely into new wave, right? So my boy Chris, I know he probably won't be here, but I'm gonna give him a shout. My boy Chris loved Depeche Mode and loved U2.
Oh wow.
So I already knew who they were because of that. So when I go to Florida in '89, my cousins have MTV, and they're playing everything. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's Depeche Mode, it's Guns N' Roses, it's Faith No More. It's like late '80s rock bands. I was like, okay, cool, And I like to when I come back to New York, there were still rock stations on regular, like Z100 still played a lot of rock music. 92.3 still played rock music, and then Nirvana showed up, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. This is it. And my cousin Malik loved Madonna and loved the Beastie Boys. I don't know, that was his two favorites, but he had Hendrix's last record on MCA, Head in the Blue album from the Beatles. So I was like, well, I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna see what this is, and that was it. And then like from that base, you just learn that, well, everyone's completely influenced by these two groups, right? And you put the Stones and you put Floyd in, and yeah. So like by the time I was like 17, I'm listening to like, crazy prog rock and listening. Like that was always a joke. Oh, he reads a bunch of existentialism and is listening to like King Crimson, and it's like, though, like I love that. I loved hip hop. I never wanted to be a rapper. I never wanted to be a rapper. Maybe a DJ. I thought about being a DJ. I love music so much. Being a DJ is always attractive. Yeah. But I just wanted to play music. I thought, and I know I'm gonna get someone's gonna talk to me about this. I just think rock music gives me a bigger emotional spectrum than until you get like in the last say 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Someone like Doom or like Doom with like other like really left field hip hop acts made it okay to just like not talk about being an ego trip or braggadocious.
Right. So somebody just wrote, Ileana, I remember when we would listen to Green Day Dookie on repeat.
Yeah. I listen to be honest on the block from BX. And that's the thing, but like this is, so when people say things, I'm like, no, it's been like this for a really long time, But like but rock music really gives me like this spectrum of like of just being either completely aggressive with metal or completely emotional with Radiohead, or completely bluesy with Hendrix. Hold on, let me get to Diego Joy, who is my nephew. My nephew's here. So, about my nephew, how about this? My nephew loves Seinfeld. 14-year-olds out here like, when is Seinfeld on Netflix? I'm like, it's gonna be there. And he's like, oh, I love this scene.
I love it.
Like, what's up with it? He's like, I don't know, man. That's your nephew, Like, but I love Seinfeld. I like Seinfeld too.
Yeah, that's so cool.
But again, me, that was very New York to listen to rock music and listen to because it's New York City.
But speaking of rock music, I mean, look at CBGB's. Now it's a clothing store. I mean, that happened. Look,
we played CBs. We played downstairs CBs before it closed. I was really excited. I was like checklist. I like played an old a punk spot called Siberia, like on 43rd Street, like a real hole in the wall.
Yes.
Yes, my nephew just came to tell me he just came on Netflix today. That's what he came.
So tell me, so the music, so your album is out, the Mona Passage is your band. That's also linked, your Bandcamp page, to my link tree. So guys, please go check it out. The music is amazing. I posted some of the clips of my stories along with your photos, from some of your new music. But do you remember some of your first writing and how you sort of gravitated towards writing poetry? What was the influence there?
So poetry. So poetry and music are completely different in the way I approach. Completely. Like, I can write in my sleep. I go, there's no qualms. I know how to edit. So yeah, I just tagged Yabe the singer. There's no qualms in writing. I come out, I can edit it. I can have someone look at it if I want to, but I don't. I have completely validated myself on how I am as a writer. Music, I'm sweating over here. I'm just like, wait, this chord progression is trash. No one's gonna like it. And you know, I'm gonna give kudos to Yabe because there were certain songs on the record that Yabe really enjoyed. And for me, I was like, okay, great. I get to display this man's, you know, wonderful voice, and it changes the makeup. Because I think at this point, the band has this reputation of like, well, that's Bones, you know, music thing. And sometimes pulling off. But no, the record is completely different from everything we've done. But there are 2 songs on the record that are really old. So Cielo, the first portion of Cielo, I wrote. That's one of the first 2 or 3 songs I wrote. There's a riff that I came apart, and then I was always trying to figure out, well, I want to do more with this. There's no changes in. So eventually I did, and I added this whole other part, and I was like, wow, this is great. This is great. And then the last song, Autonomy of Self, our drummer Pete, and when we finished it and mixed it and mastered it, I played for him, and he was like, wow, we actually finished this. And that was from like 06.
Excuse me.
That was 06. Like I didn't introduce that song to every drummer because Pete plays a 45-second drum solo full of fills, and every drummer was like, well, I can't do that. And I'm just like, no, and I'm like, okay, great. I guess we can't play it today. But you know, the writing, you know, sometimes it gets real experimental, and sometimes I just want to play 2 or 3 chords and just really have Yabe and his approach to songwriting and melody is so, like, it's so good. Like, I'm just like, I'll have a song. Well, I've had the song for a second, and he goes, "You'll bring it out." I'm like, that's great. My poetry brings like, let's do rhythm, and I'm like, no. And he goes, oh, and it's like really allows me to stretch what I want to write about. You know, I put in lyrics once in a blue, but you know, I really I commend to him on just allowing me to be a musician. Always have to do everything in the band.
And you play guitar.
Yeah, I play guitar, but I play guitar, I play bass, I play my little fake keyboards on the record. I do almost everything but play drums. If I would have played drums, I would have been a drummer. I should have been a drummer. But the hoodlums in 7th grade were really a lot larger than I was. So my I play trumpet. I was like, trumpet? I'm like, drums. But yeah. But I think I would have really enjoyed playing drums. I still like putting drums together for like, oh, it's in, you know. But you know, music is that is the first love. That is love. That is completely the first love. You know, you'll always see me playing air guitar or air drums, and I've been doing that since I was like 12. And eventually, one day I go, wait, I actually know what I'm doing. So that was always actually really cool. Yeah. And you know, it's just
even like
really on, well, if you love something, you're not gonna stop. You're not gonna stop. So my son, you know, my son's a musician. Yeah.
Say that again. No, I think
freezing up. I'm waiting for you to unfreeze.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. Uh-oh, you're frozen on my side too. Can you hear me?
Here we go. Okay. So my
there you go.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
So my son's a musician. He's you know, he's a cello player. He's been playing cello for 8-9 years now, and that's what he wants to do. And you know, of course, I want him to be a rock and roll kid. And he's like, he goes, don't worry, you know, eventually, but you know. And so like I like looking at his development as being a very trained classical artist, and you know, he wants to play symphony, and I'm like, "You want to be a pit guy?" Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
like play cello. I was like, "Oh, you got it. You got it." You know, cellos are expensive. Good luck with it, you know. And but yeah, I feel lucky. I feel lucky. It's always been a thing. Um, I am a bit ambitious about things sometimes. It just, you know, it goes a little slower than you can. But putting the record out really just allowed me to, especially during the pandemic. Like we finished the whole thing in the pandemic. Like
That's
the
amazing.
studio was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
you guys, yeah, you have to separate, you have to social distance in the studio. You have to wear masks when you listen to the record." I was like, "All right, cool." But it allowed us to a certain amount of freedom to do it. So when the record was finished, I think we talked about waiting. I was like, "No, just put it out now."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When you guys, do you think you guys have any shows coming up with the
Yes,
new?
we do actually. We have a show November 6th.
Oh my gosh.
I just started, so I have three parties that are coming out. I just put the flyer for the first one. It's a secret location, so I can't really tell you what it is. But November 6th, we are playing in the city. I'll tell you, it'll be downtown, like past Delancey. I'll say that. It's in that section. The flyer will be up soon. But we are
Oh,
playing
I gotta come.
yeah. No, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. And you know, we're excited. You know, musicians are interesting people. You know, we all know how musicians are. Like, "Hey guys, let's rehearse." They're like, "Hey, I'm out of town." I'm like this.
I know.
Here we go. But you know, and I'm just excited to play. I'm excited to play as much as possible. You know, I've played in a lot of venues in New York, but with this lineup, I've never played with this lineup.
Mm.
I've never played live because I wrote it in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I was just saying to a friend of mine today actually how much I miss, you know, playing out with my band, and if there's a way to like bring it all back together, I think I might try because I miss it. I miss just hitting it.
oh man, seriously sweating and go. And then like your set's over, you're like, I could have played 3 more hours.
Right.
Go again. Can we do like another set later? You know.
Right.
So that's, you know, yeah, I'm very excited about playing live. And but you know, New York is weird. New York is really strange on venues at this point. You know.
Yeah,
And
it's true.
this,
So I mean, all through the pandemic, like you were okay, your family was good,
you
you
know,
know.
I had some losses, some extended.
Mhm.
My direct family, my direct nucleus, everyone was okay. But you know, like some friends, like their fathers I've known forever, like some parents passed away. But like my family has been okay, and I was grateful for that.
Good.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So tell me about, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Tell me about this Red Sox thing.
Oh, you mean this?
I mean, I see the red hat, but you made a point to, I guess in your bio, he
Yeah,
wears Red Sox.
because you know, I think some people notice that I always talk about it. So, um, I forgot what year it was. I think it was 2012. I um I was thinking about, and it's kind of morbid. So you know, I was thinking about like, well, if I have a funeral, what are people going to say? Yeah, that's what he did. That's what he always did. And so red was always a favorite color, but never as like a major piece because then it's too bright. And I tell people I'm too pale and my goatee's too devilish, so I just look like a devil. And I'm like, nah, I'm cool. And the whatever, you know, depiction that we think it is. So the socks, I looked at, I was like, okay, you know, mind you, the joke of having red socks on is that I'm just like extreme Yankee fan. And
Ah,
having red socks, all the Red Sox fans are like, but you got red socks on. I have red socks on because my last name is Rojas, not because it's some Boston shit, you know. So
right.
they're both this. This was made by a friend of mine, but I had a couple before that, and I found a picture. I think I was in San Francisco, and I had a red hat. I remember it was knitted all weird. But I was like, oh wait, so I've actually had a red hat on before. But you know, so they really just become accents. But the Red Sox, yeah, I have like over 100 pairs of Red Sox.
Oh my God.
The only other
So you
pairs
only wear Red Sox?
I wear the Red Sox for everything. The only time I haven't worn Red Sox, I have these Doctor Who socks. And like the part you see with pants are like this purple, which is
Yeah.
that would be the second color. But yeah,
Yeah.
Doctor Who socks. Outside of that, everything's always Red Sox.
Yeah. Or sandals. Don't tell me you don't do socks and sandals.
No, I don't. But I really, I mean, I could wear some flip flops to the beach, but yeah.
Right. And so, I thank you for saying that because I saw you wrote like you go back to Puerto Rico often.
Yeah.
And when was the last time you were able to go back?
No, I was there a couple weeks ago. I took my son for his graduation. For his graduation,
Nice.
we went there for about a week and a half. But I don't really change how I dress when I'm in Puerto Rico. So I'm still wearing pants. Everyone's like, "You're not from around here." I'm like, "I am, but I'm not." But I can't wear this up there because you start sweating. But yeah, you still get to wear socks. I don't really wear shorts. Don't look at my legs. I'm good.
That's so great.
If I
So
go to the beach, I'll tan my legs out. My son will
right, right. So earlier today, we have a few minutes because I want to bring on. I think she's watching Francesca Harper just to close out. But earlier today, I posted that clip from I'm not sure what year it was when you were on HBO. I know, right? So how did that come about? Did you have to audition? Did you have to send in a tape or something?
Yeah, so I went to the first taping of Def Poetry Jam. My roommate in Chicago was Kevin Koval, and he was in the first one. But I was living in Chicago then, so when I came to the tapings, everyone was like, "Where have you been?" Because I'm pretty sure in 2000, I took a break. I was burnt out. I was like, I'm tired of this shit. I already had like 5 years in of going to the New Weekend and doing all these things. And I think the Tea Party had just shifted from Frank's Lounge to the YMCA, and I was like, or the YWCA on Atlantic, and I was like, it's different now. I'll go to New York for a bit. But I think in 2000, I was just like, all right, let me focus on music. I was doing these demos with my guitar player. So when I went back, everyone was like, yo, where you been at? I was like, oh, I'm in Chicago and blah, blah. And, of course I was looking around. I was like, when can I audition for this? And they were like, I was like, fine. So then a couple seasons passed, and I was still living in Chicago. So when season 4 came out, the play was in town, and Lemon and Suhair came to a reading I had in Chicago. I saw them a few weeks ago, but yeah, I've known Lemon and Suhair since 94, 95. So
Yeah.
look at me, it's like, yo, we haven't seen Bone in 5, 6, 7 years. So I have all these poems, and I had this piece about Basquiat, and this is in Pelo Bueno. And Suhair was like, "Oh, I think it's great. I think you should, do it on the show." So we organized this massive taping in Chicago with all the poets, because season 4 has a lot of Midwest poets, and like I like Basquiat. I just didn't think it was a stronger piece than In Front of the Class. I thought In Front of the Class was stronger, and it's something I wanted to do. And with in front of the Class, the reason why I like it so much is because I still believe everything I talk about in it. As an artist, sometimes you do these songs or these poems or these dances that may be connected to something else, someone else, some time else, and you feel like, oh, that's not who I am anymore. No, I'm always like that if I'm teaching poetry. So I always feel like I'm grateful for that moment, because it's the internet. It lasts forever.
Right. It lasts forever.
5 years of someone's Blu-ray. It's like, oh, look at this.
Right.
$4 residual check every couple of months.
Okay.
Here we go, SAG. Give me
Right.
But I think it's important to document your own art. To be the person that I'm always impressed with. Like when you see these documentaries, bands and artists had this footage from like '82, and I'm like, who had a video camera? Like,
Right.
Did you ever see the BC Boys documentary on? It's an amazing documentary. I'm like, who had a video
Who
camera?
had the camera?
And you're walking around like Bowery, like you would have got robbed, and like, what are you talking about? So it's like, cool. Now it's the phone. We can do everything with a phone. But back then, carrying a big tape with a reel to reel or something is like, hey, everybody.
Yo, listen.
We have to be the ones that document it, because
That's right. That's right. Like even the show that I did 2 weeks ago, Little Island.
I saw that. I saw the video.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it was amazing to do that. And I found out this hopefully going to be on archive for the New York Public Library, and just to have that living somewhere that feels really, really good. But I only have a few more seconds with you. And again, so I'm telling people about, you have a show tomorrow night, Jamaica Queens, with Danny Simmons and Ursula Rucker, and it's in my bio. New album out. What's the name of the album?
The New Myths.
The New Myths, with his band, The Mona Passage. That's also linked in my bio. You can also find a link to where Bonafide.
No, the only people that call
sells his books.
Yeah.
As well as just that's right, there it is. And so please go check out the links in my link tree and go back to my page and watch the clip that I posted from in front of the class from Def Poetry Jam. What year was that? Do you remember?
I filmed that in '03 and it came out in '04.
Okay.
I was 25.
Wow, it was powerful. It was so awesome.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah. Right.
So that shirt that I'm wearing, I just bought it a couple of months ago because I couldn't find it. Like, how do you not find a shirt? And my drummer was like, Bone, everyone has that shirt. I go, I don't care. I had it 15 years ago. So I wore it and I was like, I love this shirt. It's a black shirt.
I love it. Oh. Well, listen, man, I hope maybe we'll cross paths next Friday. If not, happy birthday. I know we'll be in touch somehow on our birthday next week.
Hey, twin.
You know about where the show on the 6th is going to be in November because I really want to come and check you guys out live.
I'll send you a text with all the information.
Okay. Thank you for doing this with me today.
Pleasure. Thank you.
See you soon. All right. Do you know how to let yourself out?
Yep.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Don't lock the door out.
Oh my God. Yes. That was Bonafide Rojas. And we were going to be following up with him when we find out where his show is on November 6th so we can go see his band, The Mona Passage. But in these last 10 minutes, I have a very extra special guest coming on, my good friend, Francesca Harper. And she has a show tomorrow that she's going to tell us about called Movement Without Borders. That's going to be at the Judson Memorial Church. That's also in my bio. Also this weekend, there's a special event happening with Burning Man and Sotheby's that is produced. Some events are produced by my good friend, Monique Martin. So all of that is in my bio. And there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend. So let me bring in Francesca so we can have a quick little chit chat. I'm so excited. See how it goes, kids. Oh, it did not work. Uh-oh. I'm not gonna do it.
This is what we do together. This is oh no.
I'm not gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it.
Oh.
So this is my first time seeing this beautiful woman's face since she was named the new artistic director of Ailey 2. And I could not be more happy and proud for you, Francesca. You know this. So I'm getting a chance to now say it to you publicly. I'm so happy for you.
Dang.
So you know it all.
That means so much coming from you. Yeah. I know. I think back to our days of dancing and studying. We were students at the same time. Philly.
Right.
You know. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So happy for you. I'm so excited for the organization. I'm so excited for those dancers. They just, it's absolutely the perfect.
Oh,
and just thinking about your mom and all of it together. I mean, the minute I saw it, I was like, yeah. I mean,
thank you so much.
Thank you
so much. No, it's thrilling. We're getting ready. We go into the studio with the dancers on Monday, and I mean, it's been a full circle. Going back to the place where I started. I was 2 years old with my mom teaching there and on 59th Street. And, just real memories. It feels like, and I think also having lost my mom too soon, it feels like there's also some healing that's happening by being back. I mean it, really. I mean it, Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You have a strong, this is a strong front, honey. You got Francesca Harper, first of all, running the ship. Then you've got Ms. Lakey Evans. Okay.
No
Ms.
joke.
Lakey. And then you've got Samaya, right? Am I right? Company.
You are right. Phenomenal. No, we're not playing.
You're not playing. It's
no,
Army.
We're not.
We
sit together and caucus and, the meeting of the minds.
Yeah, that photo you posted with you, with Sylvia, and
Sylvia, I grew up 4 blocks away from her when I was a little, it's like, so it's really, really remarkable. Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad you were able to come on today so I can give you that love. I can't wait to see you in person
love you so much.
And just hug and cry some more.
And hearing you speak, this program, I've been so lucky to be on the program, but to hear you and to see how much you have, all these wonderful people and what you do for the community,
Thank
Danny. No,
you.
it's phenomenal. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate, to have been working with you for so long, but you
Thank
continue
you. I mean, I hope
to
to keep it going. I want to build it out. I mean, I'm still trying to figure all that out, but I would love to have you back, like, let's say, like in 6 months,
Yes.
to your new journey to just talk about that. And I think that's great. But in these few minutes, because I do have to
Yes,
dash
yes,
and
yes, yes.
host the show.
Yes, I know. I would
It's
love
busy.
to.
It's a
Yes,
busy
yes, yes.
weekend.
So we are going to, yeah, go
Tell us
ahead.
about this show you're doing tomorrow at Judson Memorial Church.
No, it's an amazing show. Richard Colton, who I worked with recently in Boston, conceived this show, and it's called, Movement Without Borders.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about it, it's an amalgamation of dancers, musicians, filmmakers, poets, and immigration advocates. We're gathering in community around the issue of humanizing our immigration system.
Yes.
And asking the question what it means to engage ethically with another person's history, and how, and the opportunity for us to transform individually and as a society. So it's just, it's just very diverse group. I'm actually have a little bit of a mix of some of my little babies, my new babies, and my company people. So it's been great to already be introduced to the new, dancers. And it's beautiful. At Judson Church, which is an iconic space.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think about Trisha Brown, and I think about all these amazing dance people who experimented and improvising. And so it's just remarkable to be out there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so it's free.
Yep.
It's tomorrow from 11 to 6:30.
Yes.
And it's free, suggested donation. Give if you can, $20.
That's right.
Okay. So wait a minute, but your aunt is involved too.
Yes,
right?
my aunt and I are going to have a Q&A after I present my piece. I know. Yes.
So Francesca's aunt is Margot Jefferson.
Yeah.
The best-selling, award-winning author. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and what I will tell you that I have not told her is that one of the pieces is called Ode to Adele, the solo. And I made it for my mother. I made it for my mother. It was a love letter to her, and it was all about after I gave birth to my daughter and how I wish she could be with us. And it's just so I get to share that with Margot for the first time tomorrow, her sister,
There's so much going on tomorrow. So I don't know. I might have to scoot down.
We're at 2:30. We're at 2:30. We're at 2:30. Come on.
That could work. So your piece goes on at 2:30?
We're at 2:30. Yes. Everybody come. 2:30.
I will try. Listen, okay, so I will try to do that. Plus, go support my girl at Sotheby's, Monique Martin, with this Burning Man.
Monique.
Okay, she's talking about Burning Man.
Oh, come on. Monique is all over the place in the best way. Right? With her brilliance. Absolutely.
We are doing it.
You both. You've been doing it.
Well, thank you too. Well, I'm looking at like Camille this week.
Oh, come on.
Sidra Bell.
I know.
Last night, New York City Ballet.
Wait, and then I saw. I was just looking online at Linda Denise, Hubbard Street. Come on. Her little tagline at the end. She goes, "I love Linda Denise. Just looking beautiful with that little side eye,
hair, body, yoga.
Gorgeous. Our friends, we are doing it.
Okay, come on, sisters. We are doing it, queens, honey. We are the queens.
Come on,
pushing through.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
Oh,
and supporting each other.
I want to get my life together and figure out.
Supporting each other.
Yes, we have to. All this backbiting and scratching. No. That's not. I don't think that's our generation. I don't think we're
that's
doing
right.
that.
That is not our generation. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. We were founded with lifting each other. Right? Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, come on. So listen, I'm so grateful for you to take this moment to come on and promote your things tomorrow. Guys, if you're listening, the show is also linked in my bio. So I've got Francesca's show, Movement Without Borders, post linked in my link tree. I've got all of my guests, Bonafide Rojas stuff. I've got Monique's week-long series of stuff for Sotheby's linked up in there. We got to do it. We got to do it.
Yeah.
Do it. So I want to try to figure out how I'm going to scooch to you first.
Scooch on. Uber.
I'll Uber. And then I'll scooch to the east side.
Let's scooch.
To Sotheby's, which is close to Summer Stage. So that's an easy.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
You got it all mapped out.
Well, I love you, Queen.
Oh, I love you
happy
so
for
much.
you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, as always.
Thank you for
That's
doing
brilliant.
this.
Of
And I'll
course.
see you tomorrow. I'm
Anytime.
going to do it. Okay.
I'll be here. Love you.
Love you too, friend.
Bye.
Okay. So how do I get it? All right. So, okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. I just love Francesca Harper. Come on, guys. So, as I was saying, she is just newly named the artistic director for the junior company of Alvin Ailey, Ailey 2, and all love and support to her as she begins her new journey. And so I'm so happy for her. I'm happy for all of us who are pressing forward and making these big, big baller moves. Okay, because we can. And so that's my show today. Go out and see some art. Get some tickets for City Center, Fall for Dance. Go see the Met Operas, Fire Shut Up in My Bones. Camille's other show that she choreographed for there, Porgy and Bess is coming back. So just go out and support the kids, y'all. I'll be working with Complexions next month at the Joyce, also in my link tree for 2 weeks. Every night I will be there in the lobby greeting you. So come to the Joyce, November 16th through the 28th. You will see me in person, in the flesh. I will be greeting the kids. Okay, so much love. If you're coming to Summer Stage tonight, we have a free show, our final free show of the season, Yola Tango. I will be there. And so I'm on my way there now. We're at the last 2 final shows. Tomorrow is Kenny Beats and a special guest. So anyway, hope to see you out in these streets. Stay safe, stay powerful, stay lifted, stay kind, support each other. And I will see you soon. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.